So what I'm starting with, and I'll just keep the book laying right there for just a second till I need that room. But I'm starting with just a plain board. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna paint the piece white. All right, so now I'm just gonna take a piece of tape and I'm just gonna kind of put it, you know, just eyeball it down like this. Now, one thing I want to do real quick, when I put down tape, I like to paint with my base coat around it real quick. I'm gonna do this. That helps with the bleeding. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do with this top part, I'm gonna, so I've already poured out a little bit of paint here in the color. It's like a, you know, like a gray-green type color. And I'm gonna water it down. Okay, because I just wanna do a wash. Okay, and then I'm just gonna take a little chip brush. Now I'm taking a wet paper towel. It's squeezed out. And then I'm just gonna blot this off. I like to use shop towels for this, but I'm out, so it really doesn't matter. So you can take off as much of this, you know, as you want. You can add more if you take off too much. And I like to kind of start swirling it around once I get it, because see, you can see, I don't know if you can tell the little marks it makes when you swirl it around. I just kind of like to do that. You don't have to. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it at that. All right, and then I've taken this golden yellow color. Do the same thing. I love these colors together too, green and yellow, or And again, this is a damp paper towel. And just blotting off some of the color. Like I said, you just do however much you want to take off. So again, I like to swirl it like after I get a lot of it off. And then if you feel like you got too much off, like I feel like I just did, I'm just going to swirl a little more with my brush. All right, like that. Okay, now we're going to take our tape off. Wow, look at that. It did not bleed. I'm going to dry that just a tad. So I'm going to take some stamps. This little piece of stamp is off of the Bohemia. It's just one of those little strips on the Bohemia stamp. And I'm going to use, let's see. I'll keep my book out right here for just a minute. And see, this is my little strip. I'm going to use some like grayish brown paint don't need much. I'm just going to load up my brayer. Okay, so I'm just going to load that up. So I'm just going to try to be straight. I'm not always straight. And I'm just going to drop it. Okay, drop it. All right, so I love that. All right, so I need to add a little bit more. Oh wait, that's upside down. That's not gonna match. Hold on, let me do this other side. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of overlap it a little, just a hair. Drop it. Now I'm going to use the Kindest Regards stamp, which is probably, look at it. I use it probably the most of any of my stamps. I just love it. Love it, love it. All right, so let's see here. All right, so got that on there. So love that, because see, I'm just kind of mimicking, you know, some of that. So now I'm going to use that same color that I did a wash with down here. So I'm going to pour this out. Okay, and now I'm about to use a stamp that's old, and it's called, I can't say it. It's called Fleur, F-L-E-U-R. Anyway, so it's a little flower. Okay, so I'm just going to take this little, this is just off the cover off of a stamp, so I can just kind of cover this up so I won't mess it up. And then I'm going to take my stamp and just, wait, you know what? I better make sure I got enough on there. Okay. And y'all, there's so many stamps. I really had a hard time choosing what stamp to use on the background. The Bohemia, like I've got this stamp out. Any of these would have been pretty. There's just a lot. That didn't get on there very well. That's okay. I can always restamp it. I'm gonna come up here, kind of go halfway. So I just kind of alternate these. Like I said, y'all, we're gonna paint the middle of it, because I just didn't know a easier way to do it. I'll try to see if I can get it right back on there again. It didn't get on good right there, so I'll just press. And see, now it's better. Now, we're doing the mold. So I start with, and I already have them made, okay? All right, but let me show you as I go which ones. All right, so the swags. This is the Swags mold, okay? And I will make one in case someone's on here and is not familiar with the molds. So this is the Swag, okay, which was out of here. And look at those flowers details, y'all. Is it not gorgeous? All right, so then you just kind of lay it, lay it out, okay, the way you, I'm just going by, this is my inspiration again, y'all. All right, so then I'm gonna I'm using 2 of them, and I get them laid out how I want them. Okay, now I've got this one. This one's the Laurel, which is such a great mold. It's the one with the bee, and then all these other, it has the crowns, and there's a bow on there. Okay. So I just lay this one on, I'm just gonna kind of, that's the good thing too about all the IOD products. They just play so well together, right? They're just, look at that. That's just like, it goes together. All right, and that was a totally different mold. So for my bottom piece, I took something from the Classic Elements mold, which is this little piece. I've got it here. Okay. And I just kind of fit it in there like a puzzle. I just kind of squish it too to make it just kind of look like it just was made for that place. Right? Can y'all tell what's going on here? I love it. I love it so much. All right, now I'm using, so this is from the Heirloom Roses. So see this little piece right in there? That's the little stem from the Heirloom Roses. All right, so I just kind of fit this in here. I usually use a razor. I don't see it. Anything to just slice it. Okay. And then I got 2 leaves from the same, this is from Heirloom Roses as well. Okay, so I just kind of lay them out. I actually cut a little piece of this one off, I remember, the stem, and then had this one coming onto that like that. Okay, now I'll make a bird real quick. So next, I use the bird song. So I use cornstarch in there when I remember. All right, so let me I just roll. Of course, I'm using the IOD clay. You just put it in here. You of course don't have to use this much. All right, I usually just kind of will chomp it upside down and bend it and kind of let them fall out. And so then I just kind of give him a little place. I bend this to kind of give him a little place to perch, okay? So that's why as soon as I take them out of the mold, it's when I glue my things down. That way I can mold it however I want to. Like this, give him a little perch, bend this, you know, you can just bend it down, just however you want to do it. And then you just glue your pieces down. So I always like to lay them out, try to see where I want them, and then I glue them, okay? So isn't that pretty, y'all? I mean, it's kind of close, it's kind of close. Now, I did make a butterfly too, so let me just show you the one I have. So I like to make, I like for my things to dry and get a little hard, okay? I painted this white. All right, see the difference? I went ahead and painted the middle part white, okay? So you don't have to do that. You can leave it just like this. It's glued down, it's dry, and I just painted it white. Same base coat I used initially, all right? And so you could leave it like this. I also added a butterfly. So you could totally just leave it white and do some waxing, but I think I wanted to paint my little bird a little bit. So if you like he's got like on his little breast there, a little bit under here. Okay, and then a little, see how I mean? You could just take a little artist brush and some paint and paint him however you want, right? You could add a little brown, because brown is kind of on there. But I'm going to be adding some wax for my darkness. You can blend in a little white with that to soften it up. So, all right, so you get that point. All right. And then the blue, I would just probably use some kind of like a blend of some blues and whites on the bird. All right, but let's just go ahead and show you if we just waxed it. I wanted to show you how we get down into those details. Okay, so I'm gonna take, where's my little, all right, I'm actually just gonna use a little chip brush as a wax brush. It works great if you just cut the tips off of it. Okay, and then I'm just gonna start wiping. All right, so where's my dark wax? So I'm just gonna take a dark wax. It doesn't take much, y'all. Just kind of offload it right here a little bit. So you want to clear wax though before you do any of the dark wax on something like this, just so you can wipe it back easily. A lot of people freak out right here, this part as well. But as long as you have clear wax, you'll be okay. So I just take, now this is clean. I know it doesn't look it, but it is. It's been washed. And I didn't get the butterfly, but we'll get him. I'll get him. Doesn't that look so neat? How you get right down in those details. Is it not so pretty? All right, guys, thanks so much. I hope you have a great afternoon. Bye.